what I feel, it's interesting because Veterans Day used to be known as Armistice Day, right? And the armistice marked the end of World War I, and it was like, 11/11/11. It was on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So, so of course now it's Veterans Day, and I think it's a beautiful day to thank our servicemen and servicewomen. And also, my husband is a Vietnam veteran. And also, I think it's a day to contemplate world peace, kind of like a wish, a prayer for peace for this great, big, beautiful world. Wouldn't that be lovely within our lifetimes? I don't know, but that is the hope, the prayer, the intention. So here we are, and welcome. We're ready to begin. Let me go. Hi, Badra. Okay. Looks like a little smaller class online, but they'll probably be coming in. Alrighty. Let's begin, and we're going to just we'll move. We'll definitely have like a little warrior series in here, and different places. So moving. Hi, Meredith. Hi. And then reverse your circles. Reversing. From here, we're going to come forward. Lower your head. Reach your fingertips forward. And then let's go ahead and recross. Recrossing the ankles. And so you can stretch out your legs, recrossing. First, the music was too low, now it's too loud. I'll fix it again. Lowering your head, stretching your low back, and breathe. Good, and one more breath here. And then release. So we're going to look at what we call in yoga abdominal breath. So your hands are onto your belly. And like if you were talking to a respiratory therapist, abdominal breath, our yoga abdominal breath would be called diaphragmatic breathing. It's the same thing. So your hands don't have to actually be up on the diaphragm. They can be right onto your belly. And when your spine is upright, when you inhale, you expand. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale through your mouth, HA sound. That's hard to do with a mask. Inhale through your nose, expanding your belly. Exhale through your mouth open. One more, you inhale, the lungs expand, and you see that dome-shaped diaphragm becoming smaller, being pressed upon. And then when you exhale through the mouth, you see your lungs deflating in a sense, but the dome-shaped diaphragm has a chance to expand. Always doing the opposite, right, of the action of the lungs. So we're gonna reach up and over, and it's through deep breathing that you can actually start to strengthen the diaphragm. It can also be strengthened through your lungs in general, can be strengthened through aerobic work, aerobic exercise, swimming, cycling, all the different things you do, but also strengthened through the yoga practice with the deeper breathing and stretching. We're going to come up and over the other way and stretch into your back. Deep breath in and exhale. We have 5 in the studio, and I can't tell how many we have online, a few more than that. All righty, so we're going to straighten the legs, and then there's that point, point, and flex, point, and flex, point, and flex. Just doing that a few more times. Easy. And then we'll come onto our backs, and as we come onto our backs, pulling both knees into chest, stretching your low back, hugging right knee to chest, left leg extended, and then taking your right hand is on your right knee, taking your knee out to the side as if you wanted to take your knee towards your armpit, pulling inward, and you'll feel a little more of an inner thigh stretch. And now grabbing hold of your right foot, half lotus, right knee pointing out to the side, hip work here. Yeah, there you go. So your right arm should be to the inside right knee. And lift your head, head towards foot, foot towards head. And straightening the leg, let's grab hold behind the knee, straighten and bend. We'll just do that 3 times. Straighten. So your hands are doing a pull in and your leg pushing against your hand, and bend the knee. Exhale, straighten. And bend, and one more, straighten. And bend, good work. We'll go ahead and do second side here. So we're going to start out by pulling left knee to chest, hugging knee in. Left hand on left knee, and you're going to take your knee over to the side. So you're stretching the inner thigh. Bring it out as far as you can. Imagine knee towards armpit. And then grabbing hold of your left foot and stretching the outer hip. Your left elbow to the inside left knee, possible. Yep, flexing your left ankle. That might be plenty for you, or maybe you can lift your head, bringing your head towards your foot, foot towards head. Lowering your head and then straightening your leg and clasping your hand behind your knee. So you straighten the knee, flex your left ankle, and then release. Exhale, straighten, pushing your hands. Again, your hands are drawing the leg in and the leg pushing its hands, and release. And last one, straightening. Good. And release. All right. And so from here, just making sure I have space, it's like you're doing thread the needle, right ankle over left thigh. Arms are at a T position, and you're going to go side, side. Pretty easy. Right up there with windshield wipers. So when you go to the left, left outside thigh touching down. Go to the right, right outside thigh touching down, back and forth. Let your head move opposite of the legs. And then next time you're back to center, we're going to thread the needle. So right hand comes through, triangle legs make. You're holding, some like to hold the knee, some can hold the kneecap. Stretching your outside hip, the right outside hip, stretching, right, threading the needle. Right. And then from here, left foot comes down and we're going to a twist. So you're dropping your legs over to the left.
And your left hand can be on your right knee. Turn your head to the right. So that might be your twist. It's the little pretzel pose, yeah. And your legs don't have to overlap anymore. If you wanted to go deeper, you could take your right hand to your left foot. And some like to straighten the right leg. I'm going to keep my right knee bent. That's another option. And breathe. So I'm really working at keeping my right shoulder down and turning the head to the right. These these twists are they're amazing. They're cleansing. You twist away negativity, twist it all away. Yeah. Good. And then we're going to release and we'll take it all second side. So left ankle over right thigh, arms are at a T position, and you go back and forth just like you would, like in windshield wiper. And when you go to the right, get your right thigh to touch down, and you go left thigh touches down, and then add the head movement, your head moving opposite of your legs. All right, and then from here, threading the needle. Left hand comes through, triangle legs make, and you hold behind the knee or at the kneecap. And breathe. It's a nice way to start our session. One more breath here. Inhale. Stay with it as you exhale. And then right foot is down and we twist to the right. So now separate the legs so they don't necessarily overlap. And you're trying to get your right outside thigh to touch down. You can always rest it on a block if that's too much. Turn your head to the left. Extend your left arm. Right hand is on your left knee. And breathe. Remember, another way, of course, is to straighten your left leg if you wanted, or simply keep the knee bent. You could take your left hand to your right foot for a quad stretch. And release, come on out. And then once you come out, pulling knees right into chest. Good work. So we'll finish up our work on our backs with bridge and happy baby. So we come up into bridge. And as you come up into bridge, the hands can be down, or you can clasp your hands underneath you. You can tuck shoulders underneath you, lifting upward. Deep breath in, exhale. So we're going to kind of play with this. What happens if you raise your heels, pushing the ball of the foot down? So use your glutes a little more. And then drop your heels down and raise the front of your foot. And then the whole foot is down. And then we'll release, coming out and grabbing hold of your feet, stretching out your low back, and breathe. Great. And then we're coming up. So, yeah.
And then once we come up, we'll come to child's pose. So just take a moment. If you need a little extra knee padding, go ahead and use it. Arms are forward, head down. And just taking a moment to stretch your back. And then we'll round the back and come forward, arching. I'm going to do this a few times. Exhale all the way back, hip to heel, and then round your back and arch. Feel like a big wave. When you go back, the wave is receding. And then when you come forward, the wave is crashing and like you uncurl. Chin comes up last. Let's say 3 more. Exhale back. Always inhale forward. When you exhale, try to match the movement going back. It's a longer breath out. When you inhale, there might be a small pause, retention at the end as you stretch deeper. And probably 1 more. So we'll also do locked gait. We haven't done locked gait in a little while. So it is a 3-part movement. So you start out kneeling, and we'll take the right leg out to the side. Your right leg. So I'm it's funny because I haven't been mirroring it, but now that I'm in the classroom with people, I'm mirroring it. So anyways, one leg's out to the side. The other leg will come up. The other arm comes up, and you side bend. So as you're here, you're side bending, arm up in the air, reaching up and over. You could reach for the back of your head and really try to get your elbow to look up. And then extend the arm again, and your lower hand sliding down. Facing the extended leg, arm comes down, and then you're going to sweep your arm up. And once you sweep your arm up, you're going to keep reaching your arm back, and as if you're trying to take your heart center up towards the sky. And breathe. Good. Is it possible to look up? And then release. And now the extended leg is going to move up a bit. And we could move away from the extended leg. And then you thread the needle. There's 2 thread the needle poses, right? This one, you're reaching outside arm towards extended leg. And you're dropping your head down. You're lowering your head, your shoulder, and look up towards the ceiling. Some might even want to rest your head on a block. That helps. And then we'll come out. And then from here, we come to second side. So we're kneeling, the other leg extending, arm coming up, and side bending towards the straight leg. And breathe. We'll bend the top arm and bring your hand to the back of the head. So when we're tied, the elbow wants to face forward, we're trying to reach it up, maybe even looking upward. And then extending the arm again. Good. The hand that was in the air comes down. And we twist. You're looking at the extended leg, and then the arm sweeps up and back. It's a twist. Reach the arm as far back as you can go. And breathing. Good. The arm comes down and now we thread the needle. So the leg that's straight can come forward. So hand, foot in alignment. You take the other arm up, reach up. There's an inner thigh stretch as well. And then the hand slides under the other, reaching for the extended legs foot and skyward. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Come on out. And then we'll come to downward facing dog. So hands spread wide on the mat and knees coming up, and then pedal. Bend one knee, press opposite heel down. Straightening both legs, stretching, pressing hands right into the mat. Getting a stretch in the shoulders. And then we'll walk to the front of the mat, walking forward. Have your feet wide, hands to elbows. You could swing or stay center. Stretching your back. It's kind of nice to have your knees bent, especially first forward bend. And breathe. We're going to bring hands right onto the thighs, press on up, and then take your arms all the way up, palms touch, and arch back. And then hands are to heart center. Take a breath in and exhale. Good. I'll just adjust this. I need to go back a little bit. All right. Okay, let's see if that works. Sort of. All righty. Just a few movements here. Let's use our strap, the first one, because I'm not. I think most can do both ways, but well, it's the one where we make halos. I'm holding the buckle piece, and I don't really need much strap at all. You won't see my arms. Okay. And so you make these halos. So you keep the strap taut, and it's really good for the shoulders. Okay. Now the tendency is to bring the head down. So I want you to look forward. And then the other tendency is to think, oh, halos are up above the head, but I want this halo to encircle you. So, yeah. Yeah, and then if you feel like you're really struggling, make your strap a little longer. Good. Keep the strap taut and then reverse the movement. It's pretty amazing movement. It works your entire shoulder area. Two more. One and two. Okay, good work. And releasing. All right. Let's do another one here where we'll take the right arm up and the left arm is back, down. Right arm is up and you're holding. And what happens when you look up? How about when you look forward, and are you able to move a little bit, shoulder flossing? And we'll do the other side, switching. And what happens when you look up? Who knows if they can hear me? Looking upward, and then looking ahead of you, and shoulder flossing back and forth. And releasing. Good. Next one is you actually make a loop with your strap. And if the loop, if it's really hard, these buckle pieces are a little different. When you're making a loop through the buckles, you align them. Your strap goes through both buckles. And then you separate the buckles and you go back. Buckle 101. Okay. And it works for, again, for some it won't work, and then you can just hold the strap. But what I'm trying to do is make a loop that is slip proof. And my hands are going to be behind me, but you can see what happens is a little more narrow than shoulders, just a little more narrow than shoulders, not too tight. And I'm more or less like hands free. So now the buckle goes, or the loop goes behind me, and my hands face in towards each other, and hands are spread wide. It's very nice because now you're going to look up, you don't have to grip. So you're able to open differently. Just kind of a little focus on shoulders right here. And then you'll bend your knees a lot and lower your head. And it's up to you, starting to straighten your arms, taking your strap. Of course, your arms coming up in the air as far as you can. You can keep your knees soft and breathe. Hands are spread wide. Inhale. Exhale. It's very nice not to have to grip. And then come on up. Look up again. And release. All right. So we've got a warrior sequence, And here's what I would say, those in the class, yeah. So we're all gonna start out towards the front end of the mat. And hands are right to heart center. And the right foot steps back. It's up and back. It's warrior one. Your back heel, some like to keep that up, but more traditional heel is down and the hips are still squared. The hands, let's take the hands beside the ears and then bring them straight up. Tilting your head back and looking up at the space that you frame out. Can you bend a little more deeply in your left knee? Take your palms together for a moment. And then bring your hands back by your pelvis, and you kind of feel like there's one straight line from your ear, let's say your crown of the head to the fingertips. And then reach the arms up again. And this time you have eagle arms. So you take your right arm over the other. Some call this wild thing, number one. So the elbows are reaching skyward. Breathe in. Exhale. Okay, a little different sequence here. So now you're going to take your hands down, swing your left leg straight up into the air, three-legged dog. Bend your left knee and send your left knee up to the sky. So that might be it right there. Some of you can flip your dog, and that one is also called wild thing. So you might be able to bring your foot down and arch and look up. Lower, left leg is going to swing forward. So you might say, oh, I have to walk the foot forward, that's fine. You're in the same warrior position, Back heel is down, you're coming up. Clasp your hands behind your back. It's humble warrior. So you start bringing your left shoulder to the inside left knee, lowering your head, eyes are open, and you're looking at your back foot. And breathe. Imagine taking your arms up a little higher. Imagine getting your head down closer to the mat. Come up, Straightening the left leg. Now you're opening it out. So those in the room are facing mirror. And you're going to adjust your feet for warrior two. It's quite a journey, the warrior's journey. So you bend your left knee, extending your arms and looking past your right middle finger and the knee. Just trying to really get that 90-degree bend here. You can straighten your leg for a moment. Bend the knee again, and you start to become the archer. So you're going to draw back your bow. Your top arm comes up, and you draw back. And you don't have to make tight fists. Look up past your left hand and breathe. We're going to let it all dissolve. And you're making your way to warrior three, but the way I'm working it is maybe you have your blocks handy. You want to try to square your hips, your pelvis. Hands could be on blocks. Maybe balance. Maybe you're reaching one hand for shin bone and the other hand for shin bone and balancing. Maybe taking your arms back by the pelvis or arms out to a T position or forward. See what works best for you. Open it out one more time. And it means you stepped your right foot back, and we have a horse because the warrior has a horse. And you're upright with your spine. Hands are to heart center. Interlace fingers. Press palms forward and breathe. Try to be a little more upright. Straightening the legs. We'll step to the front of the mat. And when you step to the front of the mat, you take a moment here. That hero's journey. Well, warrior, you have to go out again. So you're just taking a moment, breathing in. The tradition, like the whole tea ceremony in Japan, started out with the warriors having their tea. The tea ceremony was done by men for the warrior men to calm them before going out to the battlefield. And we begin the other journey. So now it's going to be your left leg reaching back. And you're really trying to, square pelvis. Hands are to heart. You're going to reach up and extend. Arms could be a little wide here. Steady with the strong legs. Steady mind. And then we're going to reach back. Taking a moment here. And reach the arms up again. Extending. Breathing. And I may just kind of, I'll do all the poses. It might be just slightly different sequence. One more breath here. And then from here, you're going to take your arms wide and you're taking left arm over the other, wrapping. That's the first of the wild things. So you're taking something that's called that. It's not really traditionally called that. Elbows reaching up. And releasing. So now you're going to bring your hands down.
And take your right leg, swing it up into the air, three-legged dog. Reach it back. Open the hip, bend your right knee. That might be it for you. Or you step back. You have a second wild thing. You step your foot back, turn, lift, look skyward, lower. And you could take your leg up in the air again if you want before you swing it forward. It's the same leg forward, the right leg. Back heel down. Take the arms up again. You're doing great. It's not an easy little sequence. So you're going to clasp your hands behind the back, squeeze shoulder blades. It just, more than anything, it just takes a lot of stamina, right, to be holding. So you're looking up. And then humble warrior. Taking your right shoulder towards the right inside knee, lower your head, gaze towards your left foot, take your arms up high away from your back. Come up. And now we start to open it out. So I'm straightening my leg, I'm adjusting for warrior two, and then bending the right knee again. So it's a whole different, now people in the class are facing like the bars. And you gaze past your right middle finger. Good. We're going to reach up, extend. And then it becomes, you could straighten your leg just for a moment, reprieve, and then bend, and it becomes the archer. So your left hand drawing back the bow, taking the elbow back, and breathe. Anybody else have sweaty face in here? And breathing. And then release. And now we're going to step towards the front of the mat. And we're going to, this is where you might need your blocks as you come to warrior three or a variation on it. So you could keep your hands on blocks, or you could start to reach both hands for the shin bone and balance. You could also take your hands back by your pelvis or out to a T, or bringing your hands forward, warrior three. And then start to bring your left foot down. We're going to open it out for the horse. So opening it out again, the heels are turned in, toes are turned out, where it needs a horse. So you're dropping down, your spine is upright. Palms facing forward, breathing in. Exhale. And you'll be happy to know, we're just gonna lean forward. I think you're happy to know. And because now your legs work differently, right? So it's more of a stretch instead of that big long hold, and just shifting a little side to side. And then from here coming up, and we're going to step to the front of the mat, and heroes back from that big journey. Hands are to heart center, pausing for a moment in mountain. Exhale. We're going to reach the arms down, sweep the arms up, palms touch up overhead. And again, the hands are to heart and out to the sides. Touching up overhead and
hands to heart. And we're going to come to sitting. Okay. So what I'm hoping to come back to that abdominal breath, or what some would call diaphragmatic breathing, after being in that hero's journey. Let's see what has changed. So let me see, we've had a lot of strength poses, some forward bending. We'll have a few more twists and arches. So, and side bending, yeah. So taking your hands right onto the belly, eyes are closed, breathe into your belly, expand, inhale. Exhale through your mouth, HA sound. Inhale, expand belly. See in your mind's eye that dome-shaped diaphragm receding. It kind of has to go in. And then exhale through your mouth. Draw your belly in and see the dome-shaped diaphragm able to expand on your exhalation. Always doing the opposite. Lungs do. Yeah. All right. And then just a normal breathing here. Not having to alter your breath at all. And then we'll go ahead and stretch one leg out. It doesn't matter which leg. So one leg stretch out, one foot in. And we'll first start out with a twist towards the bent knee. Doesn't really matter if you go left or right. You're going towards the bent knee with both sides. Both sitting bones are down and you're twisting. And then keep your hand on your knee and the other arm will come up as if you're trying to reach back. You won't go very far because your hand is stopping you from going far, but it's a nice twist and side bend movement. And then go a little deeper in your side bend movement. Reach your straight leg and come over. And coming out. And then from here, so the straight leg, the knee bends. The leg that was bent comes up over the other. So like we're looking at this pose. And you can flex your right ankle. And now, Vajra, I've got the same thing you had. It's like I was watching her and then I got the same little hip cramp. It's so funny. And then coming forward and breathe. It's like when somebody yawns and you start yawning, you know. All right, let's do the other side. So one knee bent, the other leg straightened. And we add the twist. So you're twisting towards your bent knee. Lengthen the spine. Try to keep both sitting bones down and look back. Now, while you're still holding your hand to the knee, bent knee, reach the other arm up and lean towards the straight leg. You can't go very far, but it's a nice, it's like there's a twist and a side bend. Some people prefer to work this way. And then others will say, I'm going to reach for my straight leg and come over. And then from here, releasing. Now you're going to take that straight leg, bend it, and the leg that was down comes on top of the other. And if you can, you try to scooch in closer into the lower leg. And here we are. And breathing. Great, release, come on out. And then we're coming onto our backs. So pulling knees right into chest, stretching your lower back. You can rock side to side. And we'll come to bound angle. So soles of the feet are together. Outside feet resting to the mat. Yeah, there you go. And you could start out with hands onto the belly, feeling your breath. At this point, we're still manipulating the breath. We are throughout the whole session, except when you come to Shavasana, then you are the silent witness. But right now we're trying to just get some good, we could say good habits established. When you inhale, your belly expands. When you exhale, your belly recedes or contracts slightly. Now interlace fingers and press palms up overhead. The little fingers will touch down and breathe. And then taking your hands to your knees, pressing your knees together. From here, we're going to come into, I would like to lie over a block. That doesn't work for everyone. So another idea is if you know, and if you work with 2 blocks, it makes it better. If you just wanted a blanket underneath you, that works. That would be fine. Some are really tight. They still need a block under the head, or you've got your blocks. So 1 block under your upper back and maybe 1 block under your head. And that's nice. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes some days you really need the block to support your head. The block has, you have 3 heights on it, and some just fine. Nope, you're good without. And breathe. It's so funny today. I don't know if it's because it's a holiday, Veterans Day, but it feels like a Monday. Maybe it's the rain. So we're going to be here for, let's just say, you know, like another 10 seconds or so. Just gives you a sense of, okay, I'm almost out of this pose, and what can I do these remaining moments? And you'll start to bend your knees, roll out, and now we have shoulder stand cycle. Those will be the last ones that we'll do. And so you'll see that you might end up coming back to this or not, because we'll do a form of fish. Alrighty, so if shoulder stand is just impossible for you, then you bring a block under your sacrum, and you have your legs up, and you can always take your legs up the wall. That works. Or
you come up in a shoulder stand. Now, in like the Iyengar tradition, you know, they use blankets. I don't really use a blanket, but I can always show up with it. My head would be on the sticky mat. My shoulders have to be on the blanket if you're using one. You want to have like a collar, because otherwise you're going to slip off and it works. That's why I don't usually teach with a blanket, because the blanket can work against you. So, but if you have it, it kind of makes it a little easier on your neck. And I'm trying to bring myself straight as a candlestick is the image I use, like a dinner candlestick. And it's not so easy to talk in this, right? Because you're really upright. And there's a lot going on. I'm not looking left or right. It might be that you bend at your hip flexor area. That's okay. You know, that's called half shoulder stand. If you can come into the full shoulder stand, one of the goals, of course, we're holding. One of the goals is to be here and maybe extend your arms down if that worked for you, or arms up overhead. My hands to my back really, really help me to be upright in the pose. You don't have to point or flex, but you could push up through the ball of the foot. Spread your toes. Keep your feet together. Those of you in shoulder stand, you're going to start to take your legs up overhead for plow. So it might be that you go just partially there, or maybe your feet touch the earth up overhead. And once again, I'm not going to hold that too long. So at some point, let's go ahead and do 2 rounds of breath. And then I'll start to come out slowly. If you have a block underneath you, start to remove it. If you did work with a blanket, you come up above, you walk yourself up past the blanket so your shoulder blades can hang off of it. Knees are bent. Take a moment to take your head side to side. And again, I don't want to hold too long, but we'll do a fish pose, the traditional pose. The blanket does not work. I have to remove it. So basically what you do is you slip your hands under your pelvis. You extend your feet. Your feet are together, feet are active, toes pointed. And then you lift your elbows, you tilt your head back, and then you lower until your head touches down. And your upper body is arched. And you breathe. And the purpose is to let your thyroid secrete, because you've been pushing on it. You've been pressing on it. So it's like stimulates thyroid, and then this finish is like the finisher. The finishing touch. Go ahead and release. And bring your feet flat onto the mat. Bend your knees. And just do a 3 pelvic tilts so that I just want to kind of, we did a lot of different work, a lot of deep work. And so I want you to, do the pelvic tilt. So you ask your body, okay, I'm aligned. Can you hold this new alignment in place? And then release. Exhale, do that again. Press your back down into the mat. You feel like from pubic bone to navel, that line it shortens because there's a contraction. And then inhale, release. And we'll do that one more time. Exhale and press your back, your lumbar deep into the mat. And then release. And you're going to prepare for Shavasana, the last 5 minutes of your session.
Completely relax your body, relaxing your legs. And earlier we had mentioned this as a day in which we honor our servicemen, servicewomen, but also a day in which we envision peace for this big, beautiful world we live in. And we see ourselves as also an instrument of peace, and peace starts within. And I hope that as you're in Shavasana, that you feel a sense of peacefulness inside of you. I'm going to have you go ahead and start to deepen your breathing. And as you deepen your breath, go ahead and move your hands and your feet. Start to bend the knees, roll to one side, and begin to make your way to sitting.